Okay, guys, the last class, this was the last page that we saw. We were talking about skills. People that have different skills. For example, we saw Salvador Dali, that was an artist, Albert Einstein, Mary Curie, Florence Nightingale, she was a nurse, Michael Jackson was a pop singer, Charles Dickens was a British writer, and Abraham Lincoln, an American president. We saw all of that and what were their inputs to humanity. We saw this, for example, that talks about these people. Let me play it again for you.
Anna Richards is a 14-year-old student who recently visited the Florence Nightingale Museum. Anna, tell us why you went there.
Well, I was doing a project about Florence Nightingale at school. I found information on the internet about her life. But then a friend told me there was a museum dedicated to her life and work. That's not all. The museum is really close to my house, so I knew I had to go.
Did anyone go with you?
Yes. When I told my dad that I wanted to go, he decided to take me there. He was really happy that I wanted to learn more about such an important hero. He also thought it would help me with my school project.
What kind of things did you see at the museum?
Well, Florence Nightingale was known as the Lady with the Lamp. That's because she was famous for carrying a lamp as she helped soldiers in the Crimean War. The museum has the lantern she used in the war in its collection. That was amazing to see. There are over 2,000 items in the collection. It even has her pet owl, Athena, on display.
That sounds really interesting. Did you learn anything interesting about her life?
Yes, there was a lot of information about her work. She dedicated her life to helping people in need, but she was also responsible for improving standards of nursing and making hospitals better places. She was a remarkable lady. She was responsible for improvements in the training of nurses. She campaigned all her life for a better health system.
So Florence Nightingale's life was completely dedicated to nursing, wasn't it?
It really was. I bought some things from the museum shop at the end of the day. One of the items I bought was a mug with a famous quotation from Florence Nightingale. It reads, "The first thought I can remember, and the last, was nursing work." I think that shows just how important nursing was to her.
Did the museum visit help you with your school project?
Oh yes, it really helped. I already had lots to write about, but the museum gave me even more information. I bought some postcards from the museum shop, and I used them to make the project more colorful. My teacher was delighted with the work I put into the project. She gave me an A.
All right, now we continue. This was a story about these important people, and we can continue. This was just a review. Now we can go to the pages we have for today. Now we're gonna learn about Frida Kahlo. Do you know who Frida Kahlo was and where is she from? She was an artist and she was from Mexico.
Frida Kahlo was a Mexican artist. She was famous for a style that combined Mexican folk art with surrealism.
All right, now we're gonna read about her. Writing biographies. When we write a biography, we always put the elements of the person's life in chronological order. We also use phrases that show the sequence of events. All right, this helps the reader follow the biography better. We're going to learn about her. We're going to listen to this biography. Here is an example of sequence of events. She was born in 1907. Then she was a child. In 1922, she began studying medicine. At the age of 18, she was in a bus accident. And that's when she taught herself to paint. When she was 21, you see, it goes in chronological order, en ascenso. Cronológico. Primero una cosa, luego otra. First one thing, then the next, then the next. Right? ¿Dónde está el listening? Here it is.
Albert Einstein.
No.
Albert Einstein.
We don't want to know about Albert Einstein. Let's watch a video about Frida Kahlo.
Frida Kahlo Some people say that a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Let's see, 1 second.
One art critic said of the Mexican painter Frida Kahlo's work, "It is impossible to separate the life and work of this extraordinary person. Her paintings are her biography." Many of Frida's paintings reflect her life experiences. When she was only 15 years old, she was in a horrible streetcar accident that left her with broken bones from head to toe, forcing her to stay in bed for over a year to recover. It was in bed that Frida began to teach herself to paint, using herself as a model.
I paint self-portraits because I am so often alone, because I am the person I know best.
Frida loved to paint using vibrant colors, which made her paintings come alive. This still life of watermelons even has the words "Viva la vida" or "Long live life" on it. Another figure that often appears in Frida's paintings is that of her husband, painter Diego Rivera. In this painting, a three-eyed Diego sits over Frida's forehead, which seems to show that Diego was always in Frida's thoughts. The couple had a stormy relationship that often caused Frida a lot of pain.
I have suffered 2 grave accidents in my life, one in which a streetcar knocked me down. The other accident is Diego.
Despite the difficulties Frida faced in her lifetime, she continued to paint and lived a vibrant life. She exhibited her work in New York City, Paris, and Mexico, and became an internationally respected artist. Frida died on the 13th of July, 1954, when she was only 47 years old. But even today, her beautiful artwork continues to inspire people all over the globe.
Okay, guys, that was about Frida Kahlo. Alright, let me remove this. Good. We can now continue. There's something here that you need to read. I think I'm afraid I'm gonna have to read it for you. You need to read a little bit more at home because we don't have that much time to be reading in class. Here we go. Frida Kahlo. Frida Kahlo is one of the most famous female artists in the world. She was born on July 6, 1907 in Coyoacán, Mexico. As a child, Frida dreamed of becoming a doctor, and in 1922 she began studying medicine. Unfortunately, at the age of 18, Frida was in a bus accident and spent a long time recovering in bed. It was then that she taught herself to paint. She even had a mirror above her bed so she could paint herself. Frida's style combined Mexican folk art with surrealism. When Frida was 21, she met the famous artist Diego Rivera. He recognized her talent and encouraged her to keep painting. Diego and Frida got married in 1929, but it was a difficult marriage. 9 years later, Frida had her first exhibition in New York City. She also exhibited her work in Paris. Frida was weak throughout her life, and she died in her hometown on July 13, 1954. She was one of the most famous artists of the 20th century, not only in Mexico, but all around the world. Me parece que eso es lo mismo que dice el video, pero just in case. Make notes under the heading. When she was born, Coyoacán, July 6, Mexico. Early years, well, she had a difficult early years. She had an accident. She dreamed of becoming a doctor in 1922, started studying medicine. She had a bus accident at the age of 18 that taught her to paint. With recovering, developed her own style of Mexican folk, art, and surrealism. Later years and achievements, she had a presentation in New York City. She married Diego Rivera, etc. And where and when she died in Mexico in 1954. All right, let's see check these words. Rewrite the sentences using because, to, and but. His concerts were always sold out. His music was very popular. It would be his concerts were always sold out because his music was always popular. These four, you're gonna make it as a homework, okay? That's gonna be a homework. Let me write it down here. 1 second. All right, we continue. 4G, 4. Right. That makes you a good citizen. Okay. 4G, rewrite with because, to, and but. Okay, I just wrote it down. Look at the plan below.
Albert Einstein was a world-famous scientist, philosopher, and physicist. He was born on March 14, 1879, in the city of Ulm, which later became part of Germany. As a child, he grew up in Munich. He attended Luitpold Grammar School, where he was a quiet student, interested in science and mathematics. He also enjoyed playing his violin. When he was 15, he left school and went with his family to Milan. His ambition was to become a math or physics teacher. He graduated from high school in Switzerland and finished his university studies in Zurich in 1900. In 1901, Einstein, now in his early 20s, couldn't find a teaching position. Instead, he got a job as a technical assistant in the Swiss Patent Office. In his spare time, he worked on math problems, and in 1905, he published some of his famous scientific theories. Included was the well-known special theory of relativity. During the 1920s, he received many different honors. He accepted the Nobel Prize for Physics in 1921. Throughout his life, he published over 400 scientific works and gave lectures in Europe and America. Albert Einstein died on April 18, 1955. He was 76 years old. His name and face are still famous all over the world, and many people believe he was the greatest genius of the 20th century and perhaps of all time.
Alright, that gives us another homework. You're gonna have to make a summary of Frida Kahlo's life and a summary of Albert Einstein's biography. I'm just writing it down. Good, pretty simple, you just take the most important thing, the ones that call your attention the most. Alright? Piece of cake. Continue. All right, use your notes to write a short biography about Einstein. That's exactly what we're going to do. So we just finished with Frida Kahlo. Let's go to the last page of module 4, and this is the cross-curricular history. Let's learn the history of Christopher Columbus.
Christopher Columbus was an explorer. He lived in the 15th century, and he is famous for discovering the New World.
Okay. Think of 3 questions you would like to ask about Columbus. Read to see if you can answer your questions. Well, they will be, for example, where was he born? Why did he went to discover the new world? What were his achievements? Básicamente aquí nos va a mencionar eso. Una cosita sobre Frida Kahlo. Let me check these words. Let me see. 1 second. No sé si fue muy rápido. Maybe if I went too fast. But I didn't see it. No, because it's not not a listening about our Einstein. Okay, don't check these words either. Okay, let's learn about Christopher Columbus. Here we go. Okay, here we go.
Christopher Columbus, 1451 to 1506. Early years. Christopher Columbus was born in Genoa, Italy in 1451. He worked with his father as a weaver, but the sea was always his real passion. Columbus's plan. In the 15th century, it was difficult and dangerous to travel to Asia around the southern tip of Africa. Columbus decided to try to sail west to find a new trade route. People made fun of him, but finally King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella of Spain gave him supplies, men, and 3 sailing ships for his voyage. They wanted to find a way to import gold and spices from Asia. His first voyage. Columbus set sail from Spain in August 1492 with his 3 ships, the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. 10 weeks later, he reached an island in the Bahamas. As he thought he was in India, he called the people there Indians. On the voyage home, Columbus lost the Santa Maria in a terrible storm. He arrived safely back in Spain in March 1493 with plants, gold, cloth, ornaments, and other riches. Other journeys and Columbus's importance. Columbus made 3 more voyages to the New World. He explored the coasts of Cuba, Hispaniola, modern-day Haiti and the Dominican Republic, Venezuela, and Central America. On each voyage, he believed he was in India. He died in 1506 without knowing the importance of what he found on his voyages. Columbus was a brilliant, brave sailor, and we remember him as one of the most important explorers in history.
All right. Interesting, right? Many people don't like Columbus, Christopher Columbus, but well, at least he discovered, they say, discovered, he stole all the gold from America. All right, that's what many people say. So, especially us Dominicans, we don't really like Columbus for that reason. Made a lot of damage to our people. So, anyways, let's continue, people. Go back. And check these words.
Weaver,
Weaver.
southern,
Southern. La parte más lejana del sur. Del sur.
tip,
Tip. Punta.
sail,
Navigate.
sail, trade route, supplies, sailing ship,
Si voy muy rápido lo pone en pausa.
import,
Ah, aquí lo que le gustaba a Colón.
gold, spice, cloth, ornament, explore, coast, importance, brilliant, brave, sailor,
Continue. All right, passion. Match the word involved with their definition. Passion. What do you think is passion? Expensive thing, love, laughed at, bring in, left by boat, journey by sea, or way? I think it's love. Route, way. Make fun of, laughed at, se rieron de. Voyage, journey by sea. Import, bring in. Set sail, left by boat. Riches, expensive things. Oh, no mistakes. Good. We already heard it. Collect information about another famous explorer. Use the text box.
Francis Drake was born in Devon, England in 1544. He started his sea career when he was a young boy. He had his own ship at the age of 20. In 1567, Drake made one of his first voyages with his cousin John Hawkins to San Juan de Ulua in Mexico. There, the Spanish defeated him. He decided to take revenge by attacking and stealing Spanish treasure. In 1577, Queen Elizabeth I sent him on an expedition against Spanish colonies on the American Pacific coast. He successfully defeated Spanish ships and became the first Englishman to navigate the Straits of Magellan. Drake's most famous battle was the Battle of Gravelines in 1588, when he defeated the Spanish Armada. Drake became a knight, a mayor, and an MP, Member of Parliament. He was a hero to the English. In 1596, at the age of 55, he died of a disease on board his ship near Panama.
All right. Good. That's about it. There's a video about Columbus. Let's watch it. 1 second.
The history of the Spanish Empire.
With the help of Christopher Columbus's voyage across the Atlantic in 1492, Spain went on to establish one of the largest empires the world has ever seen. Today we'll be exploring the rise, dominance, and fall of this one-time world empire. After the union of Castile and Aragon effectively created Spain, the resulting new kingdom quickly began to commission overseas explorations. Under the Spanish flag, it was Christopher Columbus who accidentally discovered the Americas while attempting to reach Asia via the Atlantic. This began Spain's colonization of the Americas, with countries like Portugal, England, France, and others not far behind. In 1510, Spain was finally successful in creating the first permanent European settlement in what is now Colombia. The year 1513 saw Spain's Vasco Núñez de Balboa become the first European to lead an expedition to the Pacific Ocean when he crossed present-day Panama. Groups of warrior explorers called conquistadors began colonizing the Caribbean islands and areas of South America. Despite resistance by the indigenous population, the conquistadors used rival native tribes against each other in order to gain an advantage. Spain's expansion did not stop at the Americas. After finding the westward route to the Far East that Columbus had been searching for years earlier, Spain established colonies in Guam, the Philippines, and other nearby islands. At the height of the Spanish Empire in the 17th century, the kingdom controlled much of the Americas, territories in Africa, Asia, and Oceania, and large portions of Europe. In total, they controlled approximately 13% of the world's total land area. Continuing war with various countries throughout Europe meant trouble for Spain's economy. By the end of the 17th century, France had emerged as Europe's superpower, marking the beginning of the end for Spain's empire. In the 19th century, the Spanish-American Wars of Independence and the Spanish-American War saw Spain lose all of its territories throughout the Americas and Asia. Even after its fall as a dominant world power, Spain's legacy remains evident. The Spanish dollar was the world's first global currency because of the country's role in the foundations of global trade. This trade would see the introduction of things like horses, apples, and even wheat to the New World from Europe.
All right, my people, that's about it. You are going to continue. We're going to continue with this questions, and then that'll be it. All right. Christopher Columbus discovered the Americas while trying to sail to Asia when he was sailing the Pacific, or after many years searching for them. No, while trying to sail to Asia. Come on, teacher, you don't know history? Spain's first permanent settlement in the Americas was in modern Guatemala, Panama, or Colombia? Let's see. Panama? Nah, it was Colombia. The conquistadors were members of native tribes of the America, aristocrats who found Christopher Columbus' voyages, who funded, people who battled for new lands to colonize. The Spanish Empire reached its peak in 16th century, 17th century, or 18th century. All right, Spain's economy began to weaken due to a large amount of money spent on military pursuits, their defeat by France in war, or the loss of territory in Southern America. Good. People, that's it. Sorry about that. Next class will be Module 5. Yay! Finish Module 4. We're on our last module, Module 5, and this is what we're going to learn. World problems, natural disasters, humanitarian problems, activities for a charity event, ways animals are endangered, activities at an eco camp. Get ready. That's what we're going to see in the next class. Take care. Thanks for watching.